G'day guys, welcome back to Mud Rats Hunting and Outdoors. In this vid I'm going to show you how to properly clean the barrel of your rifle and your action, and I'm also going to explain a barrel break-in procedure. Now before we get onto that, I'll just go through some of the products that we'll be using today. The first thing I'll start out with is our cleaning rods. The cleaning rod I use, it's a carbon fibre cleaning rod, and it's made by Gunslick. These cleaning rods are great. In my opinion, the one-piece rods are the way to go. If you're going to get something that's a steel rod, make sure you get something with a nice soft plastic coating over it, or enamel coating over it, so that it doesn't harm the rifling of your barrel as it goes down the barrel. The other thing you want to make sure you don't buy, and I mean if you're in a pinch, you don't have the money to buy one, and you must buy one of those three-piece kits, buy something of quality. If you're going to turn and use it, something you're going to be using for a long time, you may as well spend the money once and buy some good cleaning products. Those three-piece rods will damage the rifling in your barrel, no doubt about it. Many a time I've seen a brand new barrel destroyed because of those style rods. At each one of those junctions in those rods, they've got a brass connection, and anything metal sliding down that the inside of that barrel not protected, is going to erode and damage your barrel, also the throat, and also the crown of your rifle if you're not careful. And I've seen many a barrel damaged from brand new from incorrect cleaning procedures. So it's most imperative that you spend the money. I mean, this one here runs you about $90 Australian. Your Deweys and stuff like that can run you up a little bit over the $100 mark. Sometimes a little bit more expensive, but get yourself a good quality cleaning rod. Now, I also have a pistol cleaning rod, although with this I've fitted a 20 gauge shotgun mop to it. Now guys, this one's a Tetragun brand. I've had some bad experiences with these in the past. This one I'm not so worried about because I'm only using it to clean the action. It's not going down the bore of the rifle. But I bought one of these brand new for my 22 LR, and had the coating fall apart on me down the barrel and the handle fall off the very first time I used it. So, and they are around about the same price, if not a little bit more expensive than the Gunslick, but I tend to steer clear of them. So, I've heard other people have been using it for years and never had a problem, but there's always that one case. So anyway guys, this is what I use for cleaning my my chamber. So once I've done all my barrel cleaning, I'll come in with this and I'll clean my chamber, but I'll show you that once we get to the cleaning part of it. The next thing you're going to need is some brushes and some jags. Now the first thing you want to get is you want to get yourself a nice good quality brass jag. Again, I'm using Gunslick products here again. Now you also want to get yourself a nylon brush and also a bronze brush. Now for the purpose of what we're about to do here today, this rifle's had over 1,000 or more rounds put through it, and it's got quite a heavy copper fouling. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a copper fouling clean. Now on a normal barrel break-in procedure, we'll start there first. On a normal barrel break-in procedure, you only want to use a powder type solvent. You do not want to use a copper solvent straight off the bat. Copper solvent will just remove any copper deposit that you put in that brand new barrel. So you want to be using a powder solvent, something like a Hoppy's number 9, which we've got here. This is what I generally use from day-to-day basis. For all my normal cleaning products, I'll use the Hoppy's number 9 because it's just a basic powder solvent. Okay, now what I'm going to be using today is Butcher's Boreshine. Butcher's Boreshine is a great solvent for getting rid of copper fouling, light copper fouling, to reasonably have a copper fouling, and it does a really good job of that. Now, for those really stubborn copper fouling, and or some of those older style rifles that probably have got a fair few years about them, you want to use something like Sweet's 7.62 solvent. The only thing is with sweets, you've got to be reasonably quick and about how you use it. With sweets, I normally would tend to run a very wet patch of sweets down the barrel, and then I will leave the patch right at the end of the muzzle and remove the cleaning rod. Let that soak for about 5 minutes. Once that's soaked for about 5 minutes, I'll then switch over to some patches on my Jag with some WD-40, and I'll turn around and proceed to push out the or run out the sweets out of the barrel with the WD-40 until there's no more sweets left. After that, then I'll go back to a just a straight powder solvent like Hoppe's number 9 again, 2 wet patches, and then I'll go on to just dry patching it, and then an oil patch. The other thing you do want to keep is also some good gun oil. I've got some Hoppe's number 9 gun oil, and also some gun grease for re-greasing your bolt lugs and things like that. When you're finished. So basically, guys, to start out with, on a brand new barrel, the first thing you want to do is you want to take your Hoppe's number 9 and you want to run 2 wet patches down through your barrel before you even take a shot. Run 2 wet patches. That'll make sure it gets rid of any swarf or rubbish that the manufacturer's left in the barrel when they've cut that rifling, and that'll allow for a nice, reasonably smooth ball for the first bullet to pass through. Now, with a brand new barrel, your rifling will have little jagged edges and whatnot. After you try and finish doing, this is the reason why we do a barrel breaking procedure. Once you've completed the barrel breaking procedure, that barrel then, the rifling will then start to smooth out and get some consistency. So alright guys, to start off with, like I say, 2 patches of Hoppe's number 9, and then we want to take our brass ball brush, and this is the only time we'll use a brass ball brush. I only ever use a brass ball brush whenever we're doing powder felling cleaning. Never use a brass ball brush when you are using a heavy copper solvent type solvent, because one, it'll start to erode away the bristles on your brush, and parts of that will end up down your rifling. And the other reason for that as well is it can start to erode and make your rifling in your barrel a little bit brittle. For that, we will use a nylon brush. So you'll be you take your bronze brush and you'll do 8 to 10 passes down the barrel with your nylon brush, your bronze brush with some Hoppe's number 9. After that, you'll then do 2 to 3 patches, dry patches on your Jag to get rid of any of that crap out of there. Okay, after that's done, now we're going to fire our first shot. So you're going to fire that first shot. Once that's fired, you're going to put it back on the bench again, and you're going to do that same procedure again. So it's going to be another 2 wet patches, Hoppe's number 9, another 8 to 10 passes down the ball with the bronze brush with some Hoppe's again, and another couple of dry patches to patch that out. And you're going to repeat that, 1 shot, 1 clean procedure for 10 rounds. After that 10 rounds, you can then go on to proceed to do 5 shots, 1 cleaning procedure, and then do that for 5 times. So for a total of 50 rounds in total. So once you've done that, your barrel should be start to break in fairly well by this time. You should start noticing your accuracy and your groups start to tighten in a little bit more as you're starting to build up a little bit of copper fouling in your barrel. And this barrel breaking procedure is called a copper equilibrium barrel breaking procedure. And what that does is it allows us to build up a copper build-up inside the barrel at a rather quick rate. So the quicker you can get the copper fouling into the barrel, the quicker your accuracy is going to start to to pick up. Now, if you're a bench or a shooter, it would be a totally different regime again. I'm not going to go through that today, simply because I don't have any of the other product here that I need to instruct and show that, and I don't need to do a barrel breaking. But anyway, we'll save that for another day and maybe another rifle. But anyway, guys, so that's how you do a barrel breaking procedure. Once that's done, when you go up the range, or when you finish, go away hunting, when you get home, just follow that same procedure again. Just run your your patches through, and then at the end of that, when you're actually storing the firearm after you finish doing your shooting, The only thing after doing that final clean and making sure that all that crap's out of your barrel, all the dry patches, you know, you run enough dry patches through so it's starting to come through reasonably clean. Then you want to take a nice, really wet soaked oil patch or something like a Hoppy's number 9 oil, and you want to run a patch down through the barrel. After you've done that, run one dry patch down through the barrel, unless you live in a humid area where you got quite humid and hot conditions, or you don't have a dehumidifier in your safe or something like that. Then don't worry about running a dry patch through after that wet patch. But if you live in a reasonably dry, you know, a reasonably non-humid area, then just run a dry patch through, just to get rid of that residual oil, and that'll help your barrel from you know, rusting and corroding and whatnot. So anyway, the other thing you're obviously going to need is you're going to need some patches, and one of the most important things you're going to need is you're going to need a bore guide. Now you can buy these multi-fit bore guides, and they serve their purpose well. I always keep one in the range box just because of the different calibers that I'm shooting all the time, and they come with your other different attachments to allow for your other different calibers. So they're a great little thing. But ultimately, if you can afford it, or if you can find anybody to make one, get yourself a custom bore guide made, and that will really you know, make a hell of a lot of difference. But anyway, guys, we'll get into it and we'll make a start. The other thing I find that helps, guys, if when you're up the range, or when whenever you're doing any cleaning, instead of getting an eyedropper and you know, dropping an eyedropper worth of solvent on your patch every time, get yourself a couple of old baby food jars, and just, you know, stick a whole bunch of patches in there, and you know, some solvent, and let it soak in. By doing that, you know, it's just going to save you hassle at the range. You can just take a wet patch out and it's already wet, ready to go. So that's what we'll do. We'll start off, we'll just get our jag and our nylon brush. We won't be using the bronze bore brush today because we're going to be using a copper solvent. So okay. The other thing you want to make sure you want to do, guys, is get yourself a towel or a rag and just cover the buttstock of your rifle, just to stop any of that solvent getting down into your onto your stock and destroying the finish on your stock. Okay. So we'll just insert our bore guide. Okay. And you always want something at the end of your barrel, guys, to collect your patches. So we'll run that wet patch through, and there's quite a bit of garbage on that patch, so we'll just remove that. Okay. We'll whack another wet patch on. Again, plenty of rubbish, and you'll see once with the copper, you'll see that blueness coming out in the patch. That's the copper being stripped out of the barrel. Okay, so now we've run our 2 wet patches through. We're going to now switch over to our nylon brush and some more Butcher's Bullshine. I won't be using the Hoppies number 9 today, or the sweets. So you want to get plenty of solvent on there. And depending on how much garbage you've got in your ball, guys, you might want to do between 10 and 15 passes. I've already given this a going over today, just with some powder solvent, but I'm going to just go through again and do it and get rid of the copper this time around, just to show you guys how to do that. Now, you don't want to be in any kind of race when you do this. Just take your time. One other thing is, one main tip, is don't let your brush, or try not to let your brush, exit the muzzle completely, because that brass end on the jag, as it comes back through the crown, will eventually, over time, it'll wear away your crown and eventually cause you to start to lose accuracy. So you want to try not to have that brush exit the crown as much as possible, or sorry, the muzzle rather. Same as when you're pulling it back through, you want to try not to allow that brush to exit the throat as much as you can, because over time you will erode away the steel around those areas, and it will become brittle, and eventually the barrel will become useless. Okay, so that'll do that. Okay, so now we've done that, guys, we're going to switch back over to our brass jag again. And we're going to run one more wet patch, just to get rid of that crap that we would have just loosened up with the brush. We just want to push that crap out with a wet patch. And again, guys, you can see how much copper and garbage is now coming out on that patch after you've run that the brush through there a few times. Really gets rid of it. That Butcher's Bullshine is really great stuff. Really great stuff. Okay, so now after you've done that, you want to proceed now to go ahead and run as many dry patches through as needed to until the patches start to come out reasonably clean. They don't have to be spotless, but as long as they're coming out reasonably clean, and you can see no more purple or blue coloured garbage on the patch, you know you've got rid of all that copper. And if you're unsure, just stick a torch through the end of your action, and take a look down your barrel, or down the other end of your barrel, and just take a look at if it's cleaned out most of that garbage. So we've still got a little bit of fouling coming through there, not much, but Still a little bit of crap. Probably one more patch, and that should do it. Now, if you find that you've done that a couple of times with your butcher's ball shine and you've still got some heavy powder fouling in there, that's when you would switch out to your sweets and run a patch of sweets in there and leave it in there for about 5 minutes, and then you know, and then chase it out like I was saying earlier with your WD-40. Sweets is one thing that you definitely don't want to leave in your barrel for a long time. I don't like to leave it in the barrel for any more than 5 minutes before I chase it out, and there we go, we're getting a lot cleaner, so that'll do that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put a, like I say, if you live in a humid area, you just want to do this step in the process. You don't want to run a dry patch through after this, but you want to run a pretty heavy oiled patch, you know, down the barrel. I don't like to leave too much oil in the barrel because it tends to, when you've got the rifle stored, run back down into your trigger group and all that sort of thing. But if you live in a area that's got high humidity and you're a little bit worried, and maybe it's close to the seaside and you're a little bit worried about corrosion and that sort of thing, then I'd stop right then and there at that procedure. Okay, so I'm going to run one more dry patch just to get rid of that residual oil. Okay guys, so that's the cleaning procedure in a nutshell, on barrel anyway. Just remove your bore guide. Always when you're finished too guys, don't forget to give your bore guide a bit of a clean so it's all ready for the next time you're ready to use it. And also your cleaning rod, because your cleaning rod will collect quite a little bit of carbon and whatnot, and copper on the end of it. So just remove that jag, put that away. Okay. Alright guys, now we'll go on to the next part of the procedure. Now, from here, we'll proceed to take our chamber brush, okay, so now we've got our chamber brush all, and I use Remington Rem Action Cleaner for doing my chamber. Now we can just run that down through the chamber, and that will clean any extra solvent and garbage and whatnot that's been left behind from the cleaning job you just done. From there, what I do then is I change over, and this is a hydrocarbon, the cleaner, so it will dry pretty much automatically. But the only problem with that is it will now leave your chamber unlubricated and unprotected. So what we'll do from there is I'll use another smaller brush, which is a 410 gauge shotgun style brush, and we will I'll just give me a tight bludger. That's gonna be a tight one. Okay, it's not going to allow me to do that, so I'll just show you with this brush. I'll just give it a make sure I give it a wipe off so there's no more of that cleaner left on there. It dries out pretty quickly. This rim action cleaner, you can pretty much watch it instantly dry the minute you remove the actual mop. Okay, from there on in, guys, just take a little bit of oil and just run a little bit of oil over the top. Now what I tend to do is, because I turn around and I don't normally use this brushed oil, I only use this mop, to clean. I'll then later on go ahead and I'll spray that oil out of there and get rid of that oil and crap out of there. But now you can take your oiled up mop and just run that through again, and just give all of your chamber and action a nice light coat of oil to protect it. A lot of people overlook this this part of the cleaning procedure and never really do it, or try and do it with a rag. And I find a rag will just not cut the mustard. You just can't get into those nooks and crannies with a rag like you can with a mop. So hence the reason why I do that. But there you have it, guys. How to correctly clean your barrel and your chamber. And like I said, with your barrel break-in procedure, always remember, 1 shot, 1 clean for the first 10 rounds. 5 shots, 1 clean. Do that 5 times, so for a total of 50 rounds. And that will break in your barrel absolutely and give you continuous good running life for the life of the rifle. So also make sure to give your muzzle a bit of a clean at the end, because you will collect a bit of crap. But there you have it, guys. The correct way of cleaning your barrel and proper barrel break-in procedures. So anyway, guys, as always, like, favourite, subscribe if you like the video, and I would like to wish a very Merry Christmas to all, and a Happy New Year, and we'll catch you all in the new year. Okay, guys, take care until then. Happy and safe hunting and happy holidays. Have a good one.